Well, so far we have discussed uh, two parametric tests, that is large sample test, that is Z test and T test. Now this is the third test which is mainly used when we have qualitative parameters and they are to be compared. That is known as the chi-square test. Now if we see, this particular test is used to find out the relationship or the associationship, and this test mainly used to measure the difference between observed and the expected frequency of the qualitative parameters. The example which you can see that there are two parameters: education, its level of adoption, whether they have been adopted or not adopted, and there are other group, they are literate and illiterate. Now these are the frequency A, B, C and D. So this chi-square test, it was given by Karl Pearson in the year 1899, and you can see this formula that it is the sum of square of deviation obtained between observed and expected frequency to the expected frequency. This is the deviation of observed and expected. The deviation is to be squared, and then this is to be divided by expected. Then that sum is to be taken. Now K is the number of classes. So here you can see that these are the observed frequency, these are the expected frequency, this is again the expected frequency. Now like T and Z, this particular distribution has also certain properties. The first property is that it is not an exact distribution as T distribution. That means its shape is not symmetrical, but it is positively skewed distribution. Then when you calculate the chi-square, it varies from 0 to infinity. Now the question is, when we get 0, when there is a perfect agreement between observed and expected frequency, you can get the value of chi-square as 0. You will never get it negative. It is a sum of square of deviation, and it can go up to infinity. Then if you have different k chi-square value, then you can make simply a sum like this, what we call the pooled value of the chi-square. This is the shape of the chi-square distribution. As the degree of freedom is small, this is the shape. If degree of freedom is, this is the shape. The fifth property is regarding the different central moment. The second moment will be equal to 2n, third moment is equal to 8n, fourth moment is the sum of 48n plus 12n square. Now similarly, just like T distribution, as the number of observation tends to infinity, the distribution shape tends to be normality. Now just like T distribution, this chi-square also depends upon the degrees of freedom. If at all you want to refer the table value of chi-square, you need degrees of freedom, and that is for 1 to 30 degrees of freedom. The value is given in the table. If it is more than 30, you can utilize this formula. That means the chi-square value is converted into Z form, and then the Z value, that is 1.96, is to be utilized. Now here also we have to apply certain condition before we go for the chi-square. First one is deviation of between observed and expected frequency. It should be normally distributed. Number of observations should be sufficiently large, better if it is at least 50. Then the expected frequency of any cell should not be very small. It should be at least 5, better if it is 10. Now certain terminology which we normally use in the chi-square. First one is what we mean by independence. Independence means the two attributes, that is the character, qualitative characters A and B, are said to be independent. That means flower color and its shape. If you take these two attributes, they are said to be independent to each other if proportion of A among B's is the same as that in not B's. Second terminology is the variable, any character which varying from individual to individual, just like height. It varies from person to person, so we called it as a variable. Attribute is that it is not capable of being described numerically. That means you cannot measure it. Just like gender, male and female, blindness, color, shape, this you cannot measure. So they are known as the attribute. So that is the basically difference between the attribute and the variable. Contingency table. When the individual in a sample have two characters or attribute and the frequency distribution is made classifying them according to both, and if at all we show the relation between these two characters, the resulted table is termed as the contingency table. Now there are different applications of the chi-square. First one is goodness of fit test. It is normally been used for proportion, for testing the different proportion or the different ratios. Then second is testing the independence of the attribute for 2 by 2, 2 by C, R by 2 and R by C contingency table. Then testing the agreement of genetic ratio with the observed ratio. This is the most more widely used of chi-square in the plant breeding and genetics. Then test of homogeneity of the families, test for detection of linkage. All these three are mainly we are using in plant breeding and genetics. Testing of homogeneity of various variances, that is also known as the Bartlett test of homogeneity. If we have two variances, then you can test it by F test. But if you have more than two variances, then you can use the chi-square. And then the next one is the testing the heterogeneity among the correlation coefficient. That is the part when we will discuss correlation, we will see how the correlation coefficient can be tested using the chi-square. So let us see one by one the application. First one is the testing goodness of fit. Now when chi-square test is used to know whether the given sampling distribution is in agreement with the theoretical of the expected frequency distribution, that particular test is known as goodness of fit. You have a given distribution and you want what we call the theoretical distribution, and we have certain expectation whether it is in fitness with the given distribution or not. That can be tested by chi-square. So here we set the hypothesis that given sampling distribution is in agreement with the theoretical or the expected frequency distribution against the alternative that is not in agreement with the theoretical. And then as usual we fix the level of significance at 5%. Then we work out these of given ratio is given. So based on that we work out the expected frequency and apply this formula. Then we compared with the tabular value with k minus 1. K is the number of classes minus 1 degrees of freedom. And then just like T and Z, if ratio is more than table chi-square, we declared that observed difference is significant at 5% level of significance and the null hypothesis is rejected. In other alternative case, if observed difference is non-significant, we accept the hypothesis. And finally, while conclusion, we write that non-significant difference indicate that the given sampling distribution is in agreement with the theoretical distribution and fit is considered to be good, while the significant difference indicate that the given sampling distribution is not in agreement with theoretical distribution and fit is considered to be poor. Now this is one numerical example. We have the data for male and female observed during the sample survey, and we expect that the ratio of male to female should be 1:1. So these are the observed frequency which we found during our survey. There are about 500 samples, out of which 240 were male, 260 were female. And then usually we, as we saw earlier, these are the steps which we have to follow. And then based on the ratio of this 1:1, we work out the expected frequency. That means there are 500 observations. So 50% of that is male, 50 of that is female. So again it comes out to be 500. Then we work out this deviation OI minus EI. Then we work out the square of this deviation and we divide it by expected. You can see that 10 square is 100 divided by expected, that is 250, so it is 0.4. Likewise for here also 0.4. So total is 0.8. And this is the chi-square value with k minus 1 degrees of freedom, that is 3.84. So here the calculated value is just 0.8, and here you can see the table, critical value of chi-square. These are the degrees of freedom. These are the various values of the level of significance. Generally we refer 0.05, and this is the value at 1 degree, that is 3.841. Now this is the one more example, that rather we continue with the example regarding the goodness of fit. Finally we conclude that difference is non-significant, so H naught is expected. That indicate that the given sampling distribution is in agreement with the theoretical distribution. That means the ratio of male and female is 1:1 for the given problem. This is the another example where we have 4 classes: wild with eye, wild with eyeless, black body with eye, black body with eyeless. So this is the indicate of fruit fly cross with the black body eyeless, and here we are our expectation of the ratio, theoretical ratio, that it should be in the 9:3:3:1 ratio. So this frequency, it should be in the ratio of 9:3:3:1. So based on this ratio we work out the expected frequency. This is the diagram where we cross the black body eyeless into wild eyeless, and this is the F1, which we assume that the ratio of F1 into F1, that is the back cross, should be in this ratio. So this is the analysis of the result. So we expect that what is the expected outcome. So there are 16 total possibility, out of which 9 should be with the first group. That's why the ratio is 9/16, 3/16, 3/16 and 1/16. So that way you can work out now the expected frequency for this. So 5634 is the based on the 9:16 ratio. Similarly this is also same, this one same, and this is the last one. And here you can see how we calculate the chi-square, and that chi-square value get at 0.3. Now how many degrees of freedom? Now degrees of freedom will be 3 because we have 4 classes. So 4 minus 1, that is 3. And now this is the value of the chi-square at 5% level of significance, that is 7.82. And that way we say that the difference is non-significant. So that means the data follow this ratio 9:3:3:1. That means fit is good. Second application, test of independence. That is the common use of chi-square, particularly to test the independence of the classification. When the a group is classified into different way, say here we have 2 classes, class B and class A, and here we have 2 by 2, 2 by C, R by 2, R by C contingency table. So in that situation we have to work out the expected frequency for each class. So this is the steps which normally we follow to calculate. Now this is the example of 2 by 2. We have 2 rows, 2 columns. So when you have 2 by 2, it's very easy to calculate the chi-square. Simply you have to make a sum of row and column and grand total, and then you can directly apply this formula, AD minus BC square into N divided by R1, R2, C1, C2. In this formula you did not have to calculate the expected frequency for the given cell. Directly you can utilize the observed one. So when you calculate it, you can directly get the chi-square. Now this is the example of 2 by C. We have 2 row fixed. There are C column In that situation, you have to work out the expected frequency based on the given row and the given column for a respective cell. So this way you can work out the expected value for different cell R1 C1 divided by n, that will give you the A11 up to last frequency. So this is the general formula. Expected value of Aij is equal to Ri into Cj divided by n. Ri is the row total of the respective cell. Column Cj is the column total of the respective cell, and this is the grand total. So then you apply this chi-square formula and work out the value of the chi-square, and based on that you can draw the conclusion. This is the example of 2 by C. We have drug and sugar pills. We have help and harmful. We want to see whether the effect and the type of drug they are independent or not. So these are the observed frequency. Based on that, these are the observed frequency you can see, and these are the row frequency total. This is the column frequency total. So you can work out the expected frequency, as we saw that it should be R1 C1 divided by n. So it comes out to be 134.4 is against 140. So similarly you can work out for all the cell values, and then finally you can work out the chi-square, and you get chi-square as 1.31. And then based on the degrees of freedom, in case of R by C contingency table, the degrees of freedom will be R minus 1 into C minus 1. So since we have 2 rows, 3 columns, the degrees of freedom will be 2. So you have to refer the degrees of freedom. With 2 degrees of freedom, you have to refer the chi-square table. It is, the value is, say, you can see 5.99. So that's all about the use of chi-square. Thanks.